there was a dissenting voice at the hearing today. Jonathan Turley. He is a George Washington University Law School professor. I think his perspective on some things have been good in the past, some things not. He brings in a lot of things that don't seem to be about the law in his testimony, or at least his opening statement, which is that it's bad for the country and it's going to create bad feelings.
He's more about feelings than facts.
He's allowing the feelings supersede the facts. Here is Turley saying that we're doing impeachment too fast. Now, remember, there have been three. This is the third impeachment hearing that has ever taken place. Johnson, who was a Democrat, the radical Republicans were impeaching him. I think it was one vote short of a conviction in the Senate. You also had Bill Clinton, who was impeached in the House, failed to convict in the Senate. And this one, Nixon resigned before impeachment hearings actually started. And see if you catch what is a little bit disingenuous about the way he presents how unique he tries to make this one seem. There's been three now, including this one.
My testimony explores the impeachment cases of Nixon, Johnson, and Clinton. The closest of these three cases is to the 1868 impeachment of Andrew Johnson. It is not a model or an association that this committee should relish. In that case, a group of opponents of the president, called the Radical Republicans, created a trapdoor crime in order to impeach the president. They even defined it as a high misdemeanor. There was another shared aspect besides the atmosphere of that impeachment and also the unconventional style of the two presidents. And that shared element is speed. This impeachment would rival the Johnson impeachment as the shortest in history, depending on how one counts the relevant days. Now, there are three distinctions when you look at these,
Pause it for 1 second. I just want you to contemplate what he's trying to set up there. He's trying to make it seem like this one's going so fast that it's almost unprecedented. This is the third impeachment process that has taken place. It's not over yet. This is the third one. And he's saying this one is almost as fast as the first one, but not as fast as the second one. In other words, it's right in the middle. It is exactly the median speed.
This is the.
But instead,
well, he's also saying it's politically motivated.
Well, he's saying that it's politically motivated is in the other comment, and of course it's politically motivated. Every impeachment that has ever taken place has been politically motivated. It is a political process. That's not to say that it's distinct of a crime. Johnson, there were multiple articles of impeachment about Johnson, ranging from ignoring Congress to being drunk and going around town cavorting.
That ain't no crime.
He also has said, Jamie, you didn't hear any of the testimony. He wrote in an op-ed, you don't need to have a crime to be impeached. You need to have an offense. So the point being here that Turley is trying to be specifically disingenuous. He's trying to make it seem like this is being rushed. And his only example is one that is a little bit faster than this one. And then there's one other one that went a little slower.
It's a small sample size.
That was the first
Continue
World
on
Series
with what
that went
he
to
has to
7 games.
This impeachment would rival the Johnson impeachment as the shortest in history, depending on how one counts the relevant days. Now, there are three distinctions when you look at these, or the three commonalities when you look at these past cases. All involved established crimes. This would be the first impeachment in history where there would be considerable debate and, in my view, not compelling evidence of the commission of a crime. Second is the abbreviated period.
Pause it. And that's why later in this hearing, he is asked specifically about the op-ed he wrote in the Wall Street Journal that you don't need a crime for impeachment. Not to mention Pam Karlan, who in her opening statement made it quite clear that bribery itself was not a crime when it was written into the Constitution as a reason for impeachment. A crime is defined by federal statute. Crimes don't exist but for in religion in nature. And so his testimony is garbage. There was no crime of impeachment, of bribery by a president when the Constitution was written. It just simply didn't exist as a crime. It was just a transaction. Good.
Compelling evidence of the commission of a crime. Second is the abbreviated period of this investigation, which is problematic and puzzling. This is a facially incomplete and inadequate record in order to impeach a president. Allow me to be candid in my closing remarks because we have limited time. We are living in the very period described by Alexander Hamilton, a period of agitated passions. I get it. You're mad. The president's mad. My Republican friends are mad. My Democratic friends are mad. My wife is mad. My kids are mad. Even my dog seems mad. And Luna's a golden doodle, and they don't get mad. So we're all mad. Where has that taken us? Will a slipshod impeachment make us less mad? Will it only invite an invitation for the madness to follow every future administration? That is why this is wrong. It's not wrong because President Trump is right. His call was anything but perfect. It's not wrong because the House has no legitimate reason to investigate the Ukrainian controversy. It's not wrong because we're in an election year. There is no good time for an impeachment. No, it's wrong because this is not how you impeach an American president.
Well, first off, he said it was wrong because it's not going to make everybody less mad. And that is also not a reason to or not to impeach a president. I mean, he has a 56-page opening presentation. He only read part of it. The other ones had a 6 to 10 page. And it is because when you do not have the facts or the law on your side, you bang on the table, as they say.
Well, I mean, I just also think, and it is, especially if you are, invested in this broader process, as we all are to some extent, the fact that the Republicans will absolutely try to impeach the next Democratic president, literally regardless of anything that's happening right now. Like, that's
regardless of who gets mad.
That's going to happen. That is simply a function. I mean, at the bare minimum, they will attempt to destroy that president with every tactic available short of impeachment, if they don't impeach, which I'm sure they will. Then you have to ask yourself, how do you change that dynamic, right? And his answer behind all the flourishes is, let the president do criminal activity, and then maybe everybody will be less upset.
Be less mad.
My wife, my wife, I'm mad.
He is in trouble for saying it was not a perfect call, though.
Well, that's another.
That's right.
I mean,
it was actually.
No, that was
Fact check.
talk about rhetorical goalpost shifting.
Well, he calls it a slipshod process, and the only evidence he cites for that is how fast it's going
Exactly.
compared to
Exactly.
to the 1860s. Which
Exactly.
Is like, we
And
have
there's
cars
no
now, buddy.
Has anyone in any venue at any time made a single refutation of the facts in this case? People can say what he did happens all the time, which is actually what Mick Mulvaney said when he admitted that they did it. You could say this is not, it doesn't constitute bribery because he didn't say quid pro quo. You can say all of those things.
It's that he really cares
But the
about corruption.
actual facts that took place here, you cannot find a single individual in any venue anywhere who has refuted a single aspect of what came out during those hearings.
Or you could say, and let me build a fantasy universe for a second. Right out of the gate, we're opening impeachment proceedings against him for emoluments, his hotels, and how that relates to support for criminal conduct in Yemen. High crimes and misdemeanors, especially as I'm learning more and more how it's defined, I don't think there's an excuse for not impeaching him for what he's done with immigration and concentration camp policy.
Without a doubt.
I don't think even think like it's, I used to think like that is the analytically and morally correct position. Now I think it's inescapable. If we're using these definitions, inescapable. And that should have been done on day one.
I honestly, the most legitimate criticism I think that you can level at the Democrats is that they are refusing to hold him to account for a whole raft of things that he should be impeached for. A whole raft. And that or that they should explicitly say, we're doing this one just because it's, Al Capone with his taxes. And because it is the most sort of like explicit.